Good morning, good morning, good morning, Atlanta. Good morning, Southeast. Good morning, Stan. Good morning, Brigitta. Good morning, Sorrel. Good morning, Lizette. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Daily Huddle. And today I'm going to start with a quote. I'm not going to start with a joke. I'm going to start with a quote. Wherever you go, no matter the weather, always bring your own sunshine. Are you seeing the numbers, Sorrel? And the drums? What is going on? That's the breakthrough. Good morning, good morning, good morning, Atlanta. Good morning, Southeast. Good morning, Andrea. Andrea, you look awesome this morning. Good morning, everybody. Thank you for being here. Thank you for moving your calendar. Thank you for moving things around and stopping by. We know that if you land here is because you're busy, you're productive, and you're making a difference in the world. And that's the only kind of people that sign up for the Daily Huddle. So thank you, and thank you for being here. We appreciate you profoundly. We love to say here, it is not a small thing you're here, and it is not a small thing you woke up this morning. Today we have this phenomenal conversation. How does your mindset equals your results? And we have the best human being to talk about this. She is not a small performer in life. And so in a minute, I'm going to introduce her, and she does not need an introduction, but I'm going to introduce her anyway. But let's ground ourselves a little bit for the opportunity of today's conversation. Grab a notebook, grab a pen, grab something. This is going to be exciting. Let's anchor ourselves. Stan the man. Great to see you.
Great to be seen.
Yes. 2 questions for you, Stan the man. Where are you and what time is it?
I am right here, the only place that I can be, and the time is now, the only time that there is.
I am right here, and the time is now. It doesn't change ever.
No.
My mentor used to say, Giovanni, the best drug is to be present. No kidding. No kidding. The best drug is to be present. Sorrel, good morning. How are you this morning, Sorrel? And who are you going to hug today?
Good morning, Giovanni. Good morning. I am the way I say I am, sir. And I say I am amazing.
Yes, you are amazing. You look amazing. You walk amazing.
I'm going to hug my wife.
I love that. Thank you, Sorrel. Thank you very much. Sorrel is my Morpheus. If you ever seen Matrix, Sorrel is the Morpheus. Sorry.
He always takes the blue pill, damn it.
Peter, great to see you. Great to see you, Peter. Peter, only one question for you. One thing you're grateful for. Peter, what is one thing you're grateful for?
My presence of mind.
Your presence of mind. It's not a small thing to say that. Thank you, Peter. Thank you very much. Brigitta, I have been introduced to you by Sorrel, and one of the gifts of my life is to have a chance to know people like you. So I'm just going to say a little bit about you. And I know it is a tip of the iceberg of your lifetime contribution in so many ways. But Brigitta, and I'm going to mispronounce your last name. Can you help me pronounce your last name, Brigitta?
Hoeferle. It's really easy. Hoeferle.
Brigitta Hoeferle. The German female business owner that lives the American dream. Owner and founder of 2 educational institutes, one for children, Montessori, and one for adult, the Center of NLP. Why have 2 opposite educational facilities? Because children are innocent by nature. It's the adults around them that shape the growth and potential of each child. My grandmother used to say, Brigitta, you know what your problem is, Giovanni? And I used to say, what? Your parents. That's what she used to say. That's what my grandmother used to say. Brigitta is a German by birth, American by choice, educator by trade, a speaker and a trainer by heart design, CEO by passion and executive board member of the International Coaching Federation, in of service, most of all, though, she's a wife, a mother at heart. Thank you, Brigitta, for being here. We love that you're here. We'll learn from you each time. So let's open up this conversation. It's not a small conversation that we're trying to take on. How does your mindset equals your results?
Great question. And thank you guys for having me on. Happy Friday, everyone. And before we started today's daily huddle, we had a little huddle in this smaller group. And I said, let's put a really nice bow on this week. And especially for the ones that are not here live and still are present with us, put in the comments, what is it that you're grateful today? Because if we, as Giovanni just said, the best drug is to be present. And I would add to that, it is a gratitude in the present moment that we're in. And that will shape our life moving forward. So share with us what worked this week. What are you celebrating? What are you grateful for? And when we get into that kind of mindset, it's harder for us to go into the mindset of, oh, those are all the things that it didn't work this week. And those are all the things that I didn't do this week. And here are all the things that I didn't accomplish or that didn't necessarily go the way that I wanted them to go. And I love the conversation, the question that we have today. How does your mindset equal your results? And that's a loaded question, right? One of the laws of NLP, and this is one of the laws of NLP, another one that goes right hand in hand with that is the meaning of our communication is the response that we're getting. The meaning of our communication is the response that we're getting. Now I'm going to go back because this is, I think, in the series of what we're doing on this and the laws of success, this is number 6. Yes.
Brigitta, maybe you're about to do this, but I didn't quite grasp the profoundness of what you're saying. What does it mean? The meaning of my communication is the response I get. What do you mean by meaning? What is the meaning of my communication?
Yeah, I was going to go into that, and let me thank you for asking to clarify that. As humans, we're meaning-making machines. We remember when, I'm going to go and do a little bit of recap because all of the laws built upon each other. They're all presuppositions. We're presupposing that something's going to happen or that something is already happening. So I'm going to give you the visual again of the, just the head, and we look inside the head and there's a brain. And inside the brain, we put 3 words in: delete, distort, and generalize. Now, as we take in an outside event can be this, what's happening right now. You're listening to my voice. You're seeing me maneuver my hands. You see my body language. You might even see where is she, Marilyn up here. You see the light. You see all sorts of things. On top of that, you're also seeing what's behind your computer, beside your computer, what's happening outside on the street. There might be an ambulance driving by. Someone might be cooking breakfast downstairs, or someone is bringing you coffee in your office. That is all part of the external event that's happening right now in this given moment. At any moment, we have about 3 million bits of information flying at us. At every second, 3 million bits of information. Now imagine your brain taking all those 3 million bits of information every second, like right now. What would happen? What happens?
Burn.
Overload.
Overwhelmed. Yeah.
Total overload, right? It's like you're going to have steam coming out of your head. There's washers and little springs and stuff flying out of your head. That's what I'm envisioning it at least. Because as I'm giving you more information about this being present, you probably are either sitting or standing in front of a laptop or computer, and you totally delete it. You're behind pushing into the seat or your feet pushing into the ground. because that's not information that you really need. You don't need to focus on that, but you're now focusing on it because I just brought attention to it. You are paying attention to what I'm saying, how I'm saying it. Now that's the external event, right? That's just very factual. As you're taking it in through your senses, how you're hearing it, how you're seeing it, the feeling that you're creating around it. On top of that, you might get some smells from the coffee, because I know you're not getting any smell from me, and I smell really good this morning, I gotta say. But you're taking in other smells that play into that external event. Now your brain, as you're taking it in, is deleting, distorting, and generalizing. It's deleting the smells because, well, maybe you're, implementing in your head some sort of smell of how Brigitta smells like this morning. You are making meaning of the things that I'm saying, and you're probably looking for reference points in your own head on how you can relate to that. And if you can't find anything, it's probably being distorted so it can fit in a file. Or you're just deleting it because you're like, I have no idea what that means, and I can't give it any meaning, so I'm just going to delete it because it's not going to be useful to me. So at any given moment, we take in information, we delete, distort, and generalize, and out of that deletion, distortion, and generalizations, we're now creating in our brain, I'm going to point to the back of my head, our own internal representation. That means our own internal representation is it can be somewhat of a model what really happened outside, but it's not precisely the exact same thing that happened outside. For us, it is, because we gave meaning to it, right? If you guys meet up after this conversation, everyone is going to take in information differently, and it means something different to you. Let me totally simplify this. I think I brought this example before. Imagine, and I think we've all witnessed it at some point, imagine you're witnessing a car crash on 75, 85. And you're seeing it from two cars behind, and you're pulling over to give your statement to the police officer. There were other cars that were driving parallel that saw it from a different angle, and they're reporting to the officer. They're the people that were actually in the cars that were crashing that are giving their report. We all witnessed the same car crash, and we're all giving a little bit of a different report because we deleted, distorted, and generalized the information differently, and we saw it from different perspectives. We saw it from different angles. On top of that, some of us might have been triggered in some kind of trauma because we were in a bad car accident, and suddenly other stuff, other experiences, memories, and things like that come up. So the internal representation is not necessarily what truly happened outward. That means that the meaning, the communication is, the meaning of your communication is the response that you're getting. And I'm getting to this. If you are communicating from your own limitations, you deleted, distorted, and generalized, and you're communicating with someone, and that someone cannot relate to your internal representation, cannot relate to how you communicate, there might be what? Resistance, there might be enthusiasm, there might be frustration, there might be confusion, there might be excitement, there might be fear. There might be all sorts of emotions that triggers your communication in that other person. And out of that, they're going to respond to you in that way. So that also means if you are not getting, and here I'm getting to your mindset equals your results. If you are not getting the things that you desire, your desired outcome, we talked about, being very clear on what is it that you desire to achieve, have, do this week, accomplish. If you're not or even the sale to your client, if you're not getting the sale across to your client, that is an immediate feedback that your communication to your client does not land with your client, that your client can make a decision to buy. Because there might be confusion, or there might be misunderstanding, or there might be frustration, or there might be I totally disagree with that, and therefore I'm not going to buy. Right? Sale is a decision-making process. And if your communication is limited, then you will not be able to make a sale with your client. If you are getting resistance from the other person that you're communicating with, that is an immediate feedback that your communication does not land with them. Gio.
I want to attempt to sort of recreate what I'm hearing.
Okay.
And then let me know if I'm in the right direction, right?
Perfect. Love it.
So one of the things that I heard at the beginning, which is was a really interesting sentence for me to hear, which was the meaning of my communication is what I create, is the results I get, basically.
Mm-hmm.
What creates my results. And so what I'm hearing in unfolding that is that there is this opening for me to be responsible in some degree and be accountable in some degree of what people are understanding of what I'm saying. What is the understanding of what I'm saying? How is that landing over there? What are they hearing from what I am saying? Rather than only be responsible for what I say, I am actually also responsible for or accountable to, I can be accountable to myself to check to see, is what I'm saying, what I'm trying to say, what that person is hearing, because that person is developing a meaning of what I'm saying.
Right.
And giving the, and then you added something, given the complexity of the brain, where he's deleting, you said restoring and
distorting. So distorting, it's making, it's kind of distorting the picture, generalizing.
Yes. Deleting, storing, and generalizing, right? So that's happening all the time with another human being. So I can, what I'm hearing is, in this development, in developing myself to the degree where I can be curious and in some way responsible and accountable for the meaning that people are making of what I am saying, leaves me powerful to have influence, leaves me powerful to create with another human being, rather than in some degree be powerless of the automatic response of the brain, if you will. That's what I'm hearing in what you're saying. No?
I love it. I love it.
Yes, kind of, sort of.
Yes, yes. And you know what? That is how it landed with you. And that is wonderful. That's just how it has to land with you. Because another law of NLP states, you always come from a physiology and a psychology of excellence. So you're always doing the best with the information that you're taking in, with the resources that you have at any given moment, right? So you look for reference points in your head of how that applies to you. And this is not just for you, this is for everyone. And what do you make it mean? And how can you now implement it in your life? And it's very powerful, and it is very complex, and it's very deep, right? And when we start to realize of what a secret, beautiful tool that is, we can stay true to who we are, because this is one thing that I don't want you to do. And I get that question often. So Brigitta, you want me just to communicate so I am pleasing the other person? No, not what I'm saying. What I am saying is be most flexible with the resources that you have to get to the well-formed outcome that you have put in place. So if your well-formed outcome is, I have an incredible product or service that I'm going to sell to people because it's a great solution, it's of service to them, now I can be most flexible in my communication. So I can talk to Andrea, and Andrea goes, oh my gosh, where have you been my entire life? I need that, right? But that process or that decision will only happen when I meet Andrea where she is, and when Andrea feels heard, felt, and understood, period. And that is on me for her to feel heard, felt, and understood. Now, I can also make a decision, go, screw you, Andrea. I love you, Andrea. But just as an example, screw you, Andrea. I don't want to sell to you. I know that you're not going to, or I think I know you're going to do not the right things with my tool or my service or my product. Therefore, I don't want to sell to you. That's another decision that you can make in any given moment. That happens through a dance in getting to know each other, AKA building rapport, that leads to a meaningful relationship. And relationships crumble and fall apart when rapport is broken and when the other person no longer feels heard, felt, and understood and seen.
One of the things that I'm hearing, and it's so powerful, in the context of how does your mindset equals your results kind of context, and going back to the loop, one of the things that I'm hearing now, and you were able to break up my mind a little bit, is in my ability to be flexible with the way I am and the way I'm not, my mindset, I communicate better, and therefore I get different results.
So what is better, right? Better is a value judgment.
So what I mean by better, and I mean to be simplistic, in nature, I'm trying to be simplistic, is that by better, I mean that what I am intending to communicate actually lands to that other person.
Perfect.
That's what I mean by better.
Yeah.
And
see,
Brigitta,
that was an immediate example for me to make meaning. What does better mean to Gio?
yes.
Because better to me could have a totally different meaning than to you. And now if we were in a sales conversation, I would then put in, because we're always filling in what we need to fill in our communication in our head. If I go into what better means to me, I totally missed the boat in communicating with Gio.
Completely. So we just kind of exercise the dance of being flexible in your mindset so that the results can happen. Brigitta, I want to involve everybody else because I know they're thinking, "Oh, I want to chip in. I have a question. I have a comment." So I want to make sure that we all of you can really take advantage of having Brigitta here. So if you have a comment or a question, please go ahead and raise your hand. Go ahead, Sorel.
Hey, Brigitta.
Hey, Sorel.
The thing I'm also getting is I'm responsible for seeing in the moment the meaning that I'm giving to my own communication, and that meaning that I'm giving to my own communication, or what I'm perceiving from the external world, actually gives me what I say. And given that it gives me what I say, it gives me my results.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
I can at once be responsible for the meaning I'm making and be aware that others are making meaning too. And in that case, if my meaning and their meaning is not the same, then we're not communicating. So I'm now responsible for checking in to say, what do you really mean?
Mm-hmm. Does that land with you?
Yeah, is that landing with you?
Yeah.
So this is like a phenomenal model for being an effective human being, an effective partner, an effective salesperson, communicating with my eyes, my ears, and my heart wide open.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
And and I want to add to that. That's great. And thank you for offering that, Sorel. When people say, well, I wanted to lose 10 pounds by end of July, or I wanted to make 50 grand last month, or I wanted to, and they kind of get stuck in the past of the things that they wanted to do, meaning they didn't get the results that they desired. That is a beautiful opportunity to check in with which mindset did you go in, and when did you go in and create that well-formed outcome, the releasing the weight, the making, the increasing of sales, or whatever the result may be, and check in with that mindset. And if that mindset did not serve you because clearly you didn't get the results that you desired, you want to go back and start there and adjusting some things, because often it's a limiting belief, it's a deletion, a distortion, or generalization, and the filters are a limiting belief, a value that no longer serves us, something, maybe even an experience or something that we heard when we were in our imprint phase when we were little, that is holding us back to actually get to that result. That's now I'm really coming back full circle. Your mindset equals your results.
Yeah. Peter's going crazy in the chat. Peter, anything you want to add?
Yeah, good morning again, guys. Very intricate weaving and picking out and stuff, and it appeals to me because some of the techniques that I'm learning as I go along, this fits right in there in dealing with my clients, and the communicative process. What you talk about, it's more like being like a mirror. What do you desire? So going back and talking to the client and saying, okay, does this make sense? Is this what you were looking for? To enhance the communication and be on their page because you're trying to please them. So it's very, very insightful, and I love it. Keep going, Brigitta.
Thank you. Thank you. And I love those
Thanks,
confirmations. Yeah.
Well, this is a phenomenal conversation, Brigitta, and I love the challenging aspect of it all, given that sometimes my brain makes, when it's too familiar, it deletes all of it and stores all of it real quickly, and then generalizes the whole thing. But in today's conversation,
Can I pause you real quick? Because this is a beautiful example of how you can detect deletions, distortions, and generalizations in communication. I deleted all of it. I usually do all of that, or I don't do any of it. That is an immediate feedback that Geo is really good at generalizing, because it's anything and everything or none of it. Those are all big generalizations. I just wanted to point that out because it was such a beautiful example. Go ahead, Gio.
Thank you, Brigitta. I have discovered for myself, Brigitta, through mentorship, obviously, I didn't discover this alone, that my brain either dismisses what it doesn't understand, or only things that what I understand is useful. Mm-hmm. And what's not useful, I don't understand. So I live my life with a brain thinking that only what is useful I understand. And so it leaves my life really small, because this really small life, if I'm only listening for what I already understand. So in today's conversation, I really discovered for myself in today's conversation how critical it is for me to find a way to be flexible in my communication. And the way I related to it, how I'm generalizing it, it's like my mindset, the way I keep growing and developing myself allows for me to stay flexible. Otherwise, I get stuck with my way of being, and my results are going to be, the results I not necessarily want for myself.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you for that insight. And I think I brought this example. In Asia, they built high rises with bamboo. Imagine bamboo, dry bamboo, very flexible and yet very sturdy. We want to be like bamboo, very sturdy and yet very flexible, because like you said, if we're so set in
I
our
have a symbol
mindset,
for the rest of my life, Brigitta. I am a bamboo.
there
I
you
love
go.
this stuff. I love it, Brigitta. It's such a great symbol. Yes, yes. I know the time is running out, and we with Brigitta, you go through half an hour, and it was only 3 minutes, right? Like it feels that way. So, but I don't want to be leave out Stan or Michael. Michael, how great to see you! Finally, you come back. I want to insult you for leaving me all this time. Anyway, so it's Stan, 30 seconds. Michael, 30 seconds. Go ahead.
What I get from it, Regina, and I want to thank you, is that there's this dual consciousness, which is really only one consciousness going on. We got to be conscious of how we are actually showing up, and are we being flexible? And we get that by the response that we get from the person that we're dealing with, and kind of intuitively we know that, but we must recognize that we have a resource of different responses that we can choose from. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Michael.
Yes, so I very infrequently join this call, not because I don't want to, because some other commitments that have arisen. But every time I come, I get a gem. And today was an especially great visit. So Brigitta, thank you so much. I took copious notes. I'm going to find you and reach out to you because, oh my God, I need you, woman. Because I understand that my communications don't always turn out to be what the receiver should be getting, right? So, and which means I don't get what I should be getting. Anyway, so thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Great being here. Great seeing the usual suspects.
I
Check
put my
out the
email in
chat,
here too.
Michael.
Michael, we have the email in the chat. Brigitta, as we wrap up, what is your last word for today?
Check in with your mindset. That was not one word, that was one phrase. Check in with your mindset and then adapt if you need to, if you so choose to.
Check in with your mindset. Thank you, Brigitta. And as we wrap up the week, remember for the weekend, there are 7 tenants that has been given to us by Patty Dobronsky. And these are the 7 tenants that will leave you with great skin, sexy body, the fruit for longevity, and get the results you want. The first one is love always, laugh out loud, stress your checks, stretch them, stress less. There's only one life, really, might as well just take it easy. Eat more plant-based, get closer to the trees, eat the trees, let the chickens run around. Run, move every day, at least 10 minutes in the morning, 10 minutes in the afternoon. Move every single day, go for a walk every day. And remember to give what you have, give it all away, give your jealousy away, give your resentment away, give your love away, give everything you have. Thank you all for being here. Thank you, Sorel, for being a great friend, mentor, business partner. Thank you, Brigitta, for being here. Thank you, everyone. See you guys Monday, 9 a.m. for Money Matters. I love you. Sorel loves you more. Bye-bye.